So have you guys heard that term discrimination before?
Yes.
Okay. What I'd like for you to do is turn to the person sitting next to you, and I want you to tell your partner, what do you think discrimination means, and have you experienced discrimination before? And then we'll come back together and kind of come up with a group definition.
You heard about that?
I like that.
Yeah.
Basically,
Well, I think
people hating each other.
if you don't treat somebody
It's just, I haven't heard one.
Let's take a second and let's share as a group some of what we talked about with our partner. So if you'd like to share, say your name, since I can't see you raising your hand.
Nikki and Nikki.
Okay, Nikki. Nikki.
I think of discrimination as not treating someone equally.
Right.
Yes. Right. People have preconceived notions when they talk to us. You're just expected to be a certain way. And when you're not that certain way, it blows people's minds.
A title, No Limits Art Series. Eiteljorg Museum.
When we get back from vacation, we're going to be going to the Eiteljorg. And we're going to go on our first field trip. How many have you been? I think I have yes.
The
Eiteljorg.
No.
Nobody has.
Paintings of Native Americans. A sculpture of a horse. A painting of a buffalo swimming in a river. A honey-colored stone building with a sculpture of a Native American out front. Eiteljorg Museum.
I started working here in 2005, and really nothing has changed with accessibility in that time period. So it's kind of long overdue. My name is Alyssa Nordholt-Dean, and I'm the Director of Public Programs here at the museum. I think a lot of us have accessibility on our radar, but we're a very small staff with limited resources. So we kind of, I guess, didn't know how to take those first initial steps. So when Laura contacted us, we were thrilled.
No Limits is a celebration of bringing access to Indianapolis through the voice and leadership of students here at the Indiana School for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Laura Alvarado.
They are seeing themselves as leaders, as strong, independent individuals, sharing their voice and opening doors for others.
Alyssa walks through an exhibit.
We're going to have a student group from the School for the Blind and Visually Impaired come in, explore the spaces, kind of go back and regroup. We're going to bring them back in here, go through some of their suggestions and ideas. The kids are going to be critical in moving us forward. We want to be inclusive of everyone, no matter what their needs or their abilities. Be sure that they have access to the museum, because you never know who's going to walk through your door and how that can inspire them in the future.
A group of visually impaired students climb aboard a yellow school bus. At the Eiteljorg Museum, the students file inside.
Hello. Hi, how are you? Good. How are you guys today?
Good.
All right. Good.
All right, now over here, we kind of come to our left. You were kind of feeling around on this before, right in front of you. Okay, you kind of feel it. In fact, you can come over here. Why don't you, one of you come over here to the side?
What should I do with this patch?
And you can feel it?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think this is that you're feeling? What does it feel like?
It's a man on a horse.
It's a man. It's a man on the horse. And the horse is up on his hind legs.
And it's on his hind legs.
It's on
Which museum attractions did you think were the most accessible, and why do you think that those attractions were the most accessible ones?
Mitchell. Probably the ones that were catered more towards children, just based on the fact that children like to touch things, and we touch things.
Or a sword. I can't.
Or do you could be, but do you think maybe it's something you may kind of tap the horse with to keep him going?
A woman guides a student's hand along leather blocks. A woman assists two students with an animal bone.
No way.
Oh, wow.
This is huge.
Feel how heavy it is?
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So that's just one. So think about the whole spine of the whale that had those going up and down.
A woman stands with a group of students in front of a historical clothing exhibit.
The docents down at the Eiteljorg Museum are part of that frontline staff that will be engaging with public groups to lead a tour and present on really what the museum does. This grouping of docents, they didn't really probably have a full idea of what we were going to do. But what was so great is that they were totally open to it.
So how did you feel about your docents that you traveled with? And what do you think that they did well? What were some things that they could have improved on with describing the different exhibits to you?
If I couldn't see something, the PPs could have been described a little bit more. I mean, she was pretty descriptive, so we were able to get a visual image.
We're going to stop in front of this painting here. And the reason I like this painting so much, it is a large painting.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, yes.
I can even see
right.
it.
You can even see it. When you look at this, there is a lot of texture in this painting. And one of the things that the artist decided to do with this painting is make the teeth stand out really strong. The teeth are probably...
Students and a docent construct a miniature teepee. Other students sit inside a large stagecoach. A docent speaks to them. A student touches the bark on a tree.
We have the opportunity to go back, and this time we're coming from a perspective of how would I enter this museum independently and experience kind of what you experienced with the guide, that great experience, on your own.
The students sit together. One assists another with a name tag.
The idea today is to think about accessibility as soon as we walk through the door.
I can kind of see that. I can't really see it.
A student holds a map close to her face. Another student feels a 3D version of the same map. A group of students walk past a stairway. One has a guide dog.
Sean, you know that we're not going to church, right? And you're not stopping us?
I don't know. Like, you guys were the ones doing it.
All right.
Oh, I forgot the film version too.
I think I might have got this. But I don't want to leave it.
We're never gonna get this done.
No, we are. I know exactly where we're going.
He consults a map.
Well, now I do. Now that I actually looked at it.
A female student uses her cane and walks up to the stagecoach.
Sean!
Yes, ma'am.
She taps a railing.
Found it!
Oh yeah, it is right there.
Yeah. So is that a good location?
A restroom sign on a door.
Most times I've been to other places, been on the side here.
It's on the side.
They have it on the side.
So I'm going to give this to one of you. And then we're also going to do a full-on climb through the eye mask. These glasses and these blindfolds mirror what our students are talking about in terms of their eye conditions, right? And so the idea for this activity is for you to understand from their perspective how they experience your artwork right now.
Wearing the special glasses, the docents are led by students to the paintings.
See, everything over here on my right side would be gone. Yes, just right, straight right there. I can. All right. Okay. Yeah.
A student hands a docent his cane.
On top, sort of like a pencil.
Okay, I've got it.
So now you can sweep it to the left and right.
It looks person. I see what looks like a leg down here, perhaps.
Okay.
Maybe.
A student leads a docent. Another docent examines a painting while wearing the special glasses.
Sky above on the top, and then above that white in that sky, so it looks like.
Cut to black.
So it looks like the sky's kind of.
In a meeting room, students and docents sit at tables.
Oh, that's helpful.
The labels on the pieces of art might not be very helpful. I learned that.
Yeah.
So I could see it and describe it to her, but if I was using the words that were the ones that, the museum chose to use to describe it, it wasn't very helpful to her at all.
So a couple of us at our table talked about our familiarity with the space and the collections here sort of influenced our experience, and that gave us some sort of sense of the privileges that we have working here and taking that into account when we're moving forward with this process, that, you know, we need to sort of recognize that privilege with whatever.
Wonderful point, and that's something that the kids talked about when we brainstormed ideas for you all.
I think it's important to have touch art, but the art that you can touch and interact with. Because I think when Caleb put that TP together, you know, when you have that, he actually did it. Oh, and then he saw the big one and understood, but he actually put it together. Or the basket weaving, where they got to do the basket weaving. I think that's so important that there's also not only hands-on touchable art, but that they interact with the art.
I liked about the TV because you can actually you can touch it. It's actually there. And then what was really neat about the buffalo? You can actually it's like the touch the hair too. It was just really neat to get a bit better understanding.
So this is a moment where I'd like to ask two of our kiddos to come up who shared with us a little bit of why art was important and this artistic experience was important to them. Cheyenne, you're it. Sorry. You got this, though.
Put on the spot, but
right.
it's all good. It's all good. As someone with a visual impairment, it is important to me to be able to experience the Eiteljorg Museum or other museums fully, like my sighted peers, because it shows those with visual impairments that the blind community can enjoy artwork just as much as they can. It indicates that we are just like them, but have to have things modified a bit. It gives a broader view of the blind community and shows that we can experience art. We can be educators to the sighted community and show how our ideas can make a big difference.
Great.
No Limits Art Series. Indiana School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. IBCF, Indiana Blind Children's Foundation. Lilly Endowment, Inc., a private philanthropic foundation. Thank you, No Limits Celebration Reach, Ability and Advocate sponsors.